Welcome, viewers and listeners. Welcome to the SADF Podcast. This is the season 2, episode 1. Today, as usual, we will be talking about the situation of human rights in South Asia. And today, we have as a guest with us Ahamad Tabshir Choudhury, who is the Director of External and Public Affairs of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at Bangladesh. And we will be talking today on breaking barriers, ensuring human rights for Ahmadiyya Muslims in Bangladesh. So let's start. Tafsir bhai, welcome to SADF podcast.
Thank you so much.
So as I said that SADF is South Asia Democratic Forum. It's a Brussels-based think tank organization working on South Asian matters. And it's a kind of bridge organization with South Asian matters with European audience. So welcome once again. First of all, I would like to know the history of the Ahmadiyya community in Bangladesh.
Thank you very much. Actually, globally, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at, it was started in 1889, Qadian, Punjab, and then undivided India. Now it is in eastern Punjab. It started there by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani al-Islam. According to our belief, he is the promised Messiah and Mahdi. He established this Jamaat, and in Bangladesh, around in 1904, 90%, he accepted Ahmadiyya. He was from Chittagong, Anwara, and he was staying in Burma. So he accepted Ahmadiyya. His name was Ahmad Kabir Noor Ahmad. He went to Delhi. From there, he came to know that someone has claimed himself as a promised Messiah and Mahdi. Then he went to Qadian, met him, and he accepted Ahmadiyya. After 1 or 2 years, after another person who was also living in Burma and in Rangoon, and he also went to Delhi, and he came to know that about this news, and his name was Raisuddin Khan Sahib from Kishoreganj, Nagargaon. So these two persons were the pioneer in Bangladesh, pioneer of Ahmadiyya in Bangladesh. And later there are few more person accepted Ahmadiyya. And 1912, a very renowned alim, or what should I say, religious scholar named Hazrat Sayyid Abdul Wahid Sahib. He was from Ramanbaria, and he accepted Ahmadiyya. He was a peer. He was known as Borok Maulana Sahib, senior religious scholar. He accepted Ahmadiyya along with some of his disciples, and since then, in 13, the formally Jamaat started in undivided Bengal.
Okay.
So that was the beginning.
What about Bangladesh since
Saying
1971?
that he became after he accepted Ahmadiyya in 1913. Then formally the organization started in Bangladesh, in Bengal, in undivided Bengal.
Okay.
So it continued till the division of India, that is the India-Pakistan formulation. Till then, he was, someone was there. By the time he died, and someone became the chief of Bangladesh chapter of Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at. So after 1947, the West Bengal became separate entity, and East Bengal became the separate entity.
So how was the Ahmadiyya Jamaat community was treated since the independence of Bangladesh, or how would you evaluate the treatment in a nutshell?
Traditionally, Bangladesh has got a very harmonious situation, particularly for the communal issues. Bengalis are very much tolerant, and it has got 1,000 years of tradition of peaceful coexistence of different religions. Initially, there was some social resistance was there. That was not so big. Time to time, when say one family is a Sunni family, or some of the members accepted Ahmadiyya, then there was a reaction in the family, in the society. It happens, but organized opposition was not there. Even after the independence of Bangladesh, that initially the Bangladesh, it was since our independence or our liberation was in the name of secular. Our policy was secularism, and what should is that non-communal policy of Bangladesh. We had been living very peacefully. There was no problem. Definitely not from the state side, and also not from the social side. We have been having our lot of Ahmadiyya Muslims. They also joined to our liberation war. We have a good number of freedom fighters. So, being a very small community, we have a good number of freedom fighters in our Jamaat. You know that by the time many of them have already passed away, but still we have some freedom fighters. So basically, later is when General Ershad was in power, the anti-Ahmadiyya movement started more or less organized way. Our our six mosques in Brahmanbaria was captured forcibly by a group of radical people. We could restore the two mosques, but four are still illegally, forcibly occupied by them, including the main mosque of Brahmanbaria town. So since 1987. Then in 1990s, basically, Khatm Nabuwat movement, we might have heard the name Khatm Nabuwat. It is the meaning is the finality of the prophethood. So this is the organization, but in this name, the organization originally it was established in Pakistan, in Punjab of Pakistan. So later, this organization was established in Bangladesh, and particularly Mr. Khatib Ubaidul Haq, the Khatib of Baitul Mukarram Mosque, he founded this organization in Bangladesh first. And he was in collaboration with the religious clerics of Pakistan. He started anti-Ahmadiyya movement in Bangladesh.
Since the first half of 1990,
1990.
organized
Yes,
organized
and
attack.
there is some background also. It is told that at that time, the what should I say, that the anti-liberation war movement, the collaborators of Pakistan army, there was a movement against them. Like the Nirmul committee was formed, and they were demanding the cancellation of citizenship of the Amir of Jamaat, Maulvi Ghulam Azam. So it is also said that maybe just to divert the issue, the Ahmadiyya issue was brought.
Under the limelight. So, what is the situation now? If we are talking about last 1 year, and so what is the situation now?
Actually, if I go back, time to time, the anti-Ahmadiyya issue came to limelight. In 19 in after 90s, there was a severe attack in 1992 in our central mosque in Bakshi Bazar. Our central headquarters was severely attacked. A very rich library was there, so that was burned, and
I
many
remember
people were
that.
injured.
I remember that because our schools were closed for a couple of days due to that incident because it was very hot at that time. And I
Yeah.
remember that for the first time I heard this issue in my
Yes.
childhood.
That's right.
Yes, please carry on.
So, yeah, after that in 1999, there was a bomb blast in our Khulla mosque. That was a time bomb was set, or some remote control bomb was set, and six people were on spot died, and one later, and including Imam Sahib, many people injured. These sort of things were going,
So
and
that time bomb thing, we can term it as a terrorist attack.
yes, definitely, very respect. Yes, in from 2003 to 2006, there was severe agitation movement against the Ahmadiyya community. Nur Hussain Nurani and Mahmud Hassan Mumtazi, two Maulvis, led this. I think what I would like to say that at different times, different people uh, came and they led the movement. So Ubaidullah
Organized
gone, others are
against Ahmadiyyas.
and against Ahmad, yes. So during this time, 2003 to 2006, during that time, there was severe and continuous agitation all over Bangladesh. And even there were attacks on Ahmadis and a lot of things. However, in some places, government or police supported us. They came forward and to protect our properties. And moreover, the civil society was very vibrant, civil society of Bangladesh. I should name Professor Kabir Choudhury, Justice K.M. Soban and others. They came forward, and under their leadership, there was a severe resistance. I mean, a very strong resistance from the civil
I
society.
remember in one occasion, tell me if I'm wrong,
Yes,
that Justice K.M. Soban, when attack was going on the main mosque in Bokshi Bazar, he was
yes, yes,
inside with
yes, yes.
all of you. He was there. He said that
He
I'll be the
was,
first
yeah, that was in Bogura.
in
That was in
Bogor.
a
Okay,
Bogura mosque, and outside of the mosque, the Maulvi Hussain Nurani was shouting.
right.
He was shouting, and he was
But
talking against
inside
the.
K.M. Soban was the stronghold
Yes,
of the
yeah,
revolution.
yes, that's
Right.
right. So these sort of things were going on till 2006. In the meantime, in 2003, one of our local imam of Jikorgacha, Jagannathpur Park, he was brutally killed by the fanatic. So these sort of things took place, and after 111, there was a pause, I should say. that it was more or less it was peaceful till 2010. After Awami League came to the power, until 2 years it was more or less peaceful. Again after 2010, again this movement started, but it was not a regular movement. It was time to time this movement took place, and more or less the Khatm Nabuwat movement they were carrying out along with some other religious groups, including even Jamaat Islami and other religious groups. They were demanding to declare Ahmadis non-Muslim. So this has been taken after that.
Mainly the radical right wing,
Ready.
and along with terrorist Islamic groups within Bangladesh, they were they were leading this organized attack against Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at.
Ahmadis. And now in present, after the formation of Hifazat Islam, it became more stronger because in all the Hifazat Islam, Chor Munai, Khilafat Majlis, Jamaat Islami, they all are combinedly demanding to declare the Ahmadis. You may recall that the 13 points of Hifazat Islam that was raised by sometimes in 2011 or 12. So they out of 13, the number 6 or 7th was to declare the Ahmadis non-Muslim.
So
And now, yes,
yeah, now what is happening now?
yeah.
That's my
So
question.
the same demand is still continuing because now after the caretaker government, interim government has taken the power, they are demanding same demand they have to declare the Ahmadis. In the meantime, I must say that 2023 during the Awami League time, we were holding our annual convention called Jalsa Salana at Panchagod. And the name of the village is Ahmad Tabshir. It's owned by the Ahmadnagar village and the adjacent village named Shalshiri. These two are widely populated by Ahmadi members. So therefore, we have selected that place because our central, that is the Bakshi Bazar, is a very small space to hold annual convention. So therefore, we decided to hold that in Panchagod since it's our own land. We have around 18 acres of land and it was surrounded by wall. So we organized our Jalsa there and taking the permission from the local authority, we organized that. But unfortunately, there was severe attack again from the religious fanatics, and one of our young boy was killed, and more than 100 were injured, and over 200 houses were burned, and about 10, 15 Ahmadiyya business centers, owned by the Ahmadis, shops and business centers were burned. So this was a severe attack on us. I personally, I was there present, and however, finally we have to postpone that on request of the administration that they will not be able to protect us. So they requested us to postpone the program, and we had to do that. Again, after that, in August, after the change of the government, on 6th August, 5th August or 6th August, yeah,
5th August.
5th August. The same day in the afternoon, again the fanatic groups attacked our families at Ahmadnagar in Panchagad and also some other areas in Rajshahi, Bamnail, in another place named Chorai that was in Lalmonirhat, then Taraganj in Rangpur, then in Sharishabari, Rangtia in the Sharishabari district, and some other places. Around 5-6 places were attacked, and there are also many people injured. Our houses were burned or demolished or vandalized, and many people were injured. And among them, one boy, young boy of Panchagad again, who had been struggling for life for over 3 months, and then he succumbed to death. So these sort of things are regularly going on, and we are under threat at this
So
situation. However, one thing I must mention that on 5th, 6th, 7th August there was no government here. So therefore, they took this advantage. However, when we contact the army, they came forward.
So, apart from those initial days of the interim government,
Right.
what was the overall situation? Are you feeling safe now?
It's very difficult to say safe. Nowadays, initially, since you don't know, the police was not organized, and so always there was risk. Even when we go for protection, police say that we are not organized. So how can we protect you? This sort of situation was there, and however, in practice now it has been improved a lot, I should say. And recently we had our annual convention but we couldn't do it in Panchagad because there was threats, open threats by the fanatic groups that if we hold the organization, we arrange the Jalsa there, then it will be severe than any previous incidents.
What was the reaction of the local authority, DC and
Local
SP?
authority has just like they were undone. Even we had meeting with the local authorities. They said that the presence at present it is very difficult. We also will not be able to protect you or give you the proper protection as the police is not organized yet. I'm talking about last year, November, December. I went there. I personally talked with the local administration. So they suggested us, yes.
Please, what did they suggest?
Then they suggested us that instead of organizing it here in a larger scale, why don't you do it with virtually? So
Which you
you
never
have.
did. Which virtually you never organized it because, as you said, from last for the last 50 years, in spite of threats and in spite of the fear and insecurity, you have always been organizing it physically. So, did you organize it virtually?
However, considering the situation, we came back to Dhaka and we had our initial discussion, and finally we decided, okay, we don't want to take any risk because our people are every time our people are suffering. We are losing our person financially and other ways. So we decided that okay, we will hold our program here in Bukshi Bazar, our national headquarters, and we will connect 10, 11 points, regional points, where our people will sit there and they will listen virtually. The main program will be held in Dhaka. We could hardly accommodate 3,000, 4,000 people. And in other areas, people will be sitting and they will be listening our program. So it was initially approved by the administration also, local, and also we had a meeting with the Home Ministry and other government agencies. So they all gave the green signal, okay, you carry on, and considering the present situation, this is the only way to organize your program. So we got support from the government. However, there were hesitation or opposition in local areas. In some places, the administration was not ready to take the risk or take the responsibility, and some places the opposition was very strong. Suppose we can, for example, in Panchagod, with our meeting with the district administration, we decided that we'll hold two programs. One will be in Ahmednagar, another will be at Shalshiri. So Shalshiri, it will be within our mosque premises, and in Ahmednagar we have an education institute there we call Jamia. This is also surrounded by a wall and a small place. So we decided that we are going to hold it in there. So there will be two gathering in Panchagod, but that we could not do because finally we could not get the permission and there were severe
So,
threats.
severe threats. So, how do you compare this? For example, you could organize physical programs so previously. This year, you could not organize it. So, when how do you see it, first of all? And when you have reported, I hope that you have reported these incidents to the present government of Bangladesh. So, what was their reaction to this kind of reporting that
You see,
you are living in fear, you are insecure, local government is not helping you, and these are the incidents, these are the number of incidents that took place against Ahmadiyyas. So, what was the reaction?
you see, mostly, I should say it depends on the local situation. Central government always, whoever in the power, either Awami League or present interim government, we found they are quite supportive. But in
Or
local,
let me ask you, supportive is fine, but let me ask you in this way that whether they were admitting that these incidents are taking place. That is what is
yes,
important. Or whether
they,
they
they
are in
admitted and
denial.
they say sorry for this, that, and mostly they are saying that still there are a lot of things has to be done to strengthen the law enforcing authority. So that was the main reason they are saying, since the law enforcing authority are still weak and they are not fully organized, that they are saying that for that reason. So that is one thing, and I would like to mention two, three points again, that as we decided to hold in 10 other places virtually, but we couldn't do that. In other places also there was some problem. However, finally we could arrange it in 6 places. We could arrange in 6 places, and therefore we had to shrink our number of participants.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if I can summarize from your statements for our listeners and viewers, that you could not hold even a virtual meeting as you planned because of the terrorist attacks, because of the threats
Threats.
from right-wing terrorist wings or Islamic fanatics, right? So let me ask you this question: that what do you think about, like, is there any virtual attack? What is the situation on hate speech on the virtual media or virtual platforms?
Yes, two types. One is definitely there are virtual threats on social media, threats on social media, and also in
From which group generally it's coming up?
general, they are very known face. I'm saying that they are connected with Hifazat Islam. They are connected with what should I say, Khilafat Majlis. They are connected with other Islamic organizations. So I feel uncomfortable to say Islamic organizations because we are also part of Islam. So I should say they are organizations in the name of Islam. They are doing this, which doesn't
That's why I am also not saying Islamic organizations. I am saying right-wing
right wing.
political
Yeah, or
political parties.
radicals, or radicals.
Or radicals. So that's what I'm saying. So now, since you have mentioned that you are facing threats, you have experienced violence, and you are not feeling safe, even you cannot exercise your freedom for association and assembly, and freedom of religion is also under threat. And for example, USA recently, in its freedom of religion report, they mentioned that the religious minorities in Bangladesh are not living peacefully. They're afraid. They're terrorized. So, and in that report, it is mentioned that the present government has given them the word that they will improve the situation. What do you think about that? That did the situation improve from the scale of fear?
At least
Yeah.
At least I think that at present the situation is more or less stable. I should say stable.
Can you
I will not.
pray? Can you
Sorry.
can you pray? Like, I mean, what about people praying freely on designated places, on mosques? Can they
Yes,
do that?
we can pray, offer our prayers at our mosque. No problem. There is no problem. But there
But
are
Jalsa,
some.
but Jalsas?
Jalsa is once in a year, so we don't know what will happen in next year. But once this year we already that is over, and we could do it somehow. Yeah, but we don't know what
Now,
is going to.
yeah,
Yeah.
now let me ask you about UN fact-finding mission, because UN fact-finding mission was there in Bangladesh under Volker Turk. So, what is your experience with them when?
Yeah, started we first there was a fact finding team. Those they stayed here for a couple of months in Bangladesh, and they were taking the information. So we were called quite a number of times, and they took the information. What took place? They took the information. They took the evidences.
Just for clarification, that did they visit you in Bakshi Bazar or you had to go to
No,
them?
no, no, they called us. They called us at their office. They called us at Gulshan. The UN office in Gulshan. They called us. There were some visiting visitors from outside. So they interviewed us. They took the information. Even they also interviewed the victims. That boy who finally died. They took the father interview of his father. So this sort of things took place. They have taken, and they took all the documents. After that, suddenly we were called by the UN office that head of South Asian region of UN Human Rights, Mr. Rory Mangovan. He was the chief Asia Pacific section Field Operation and Technical Cooperation Division, United Nations High Commission for Human Rights. So he came. We have a meeting with him also, and that was basically a preliminary meeting before the visit of Mr. Volker Turk. So in that meeting also, there were representatives from other community also, from Hindu community, from Buddhist community, and Christian community. So I was also present there. So they took the information. But however, very interestingly, when the main meeting took place with Mr. Turk, we were not invited. The Ahmadiyya community was not invited.
Did they
So
give any explanation?
no, even when I came to know that they have invited only one representative from the Hindu Buddha Christian organization, and there was another person who was a little bit different, Mr. Govindo Brahmanik.
Why
So,
you are saying that he is different?
sorry,
Why you are saying that he is a little bit different?
because I've seen that he's not with the other minority groups like Hindu, Buddha, Christian organization, Unity Forum. He is not with them. So he was invited, and one representative from the Hindu, Buddha, Christian Unity Forum, one person. But what about Ahmadis? We are not with any of the groups. We are separate, and we are one of the worst victims several
Absolutely.
times. Absolutely.
Not only several
So
times. I mean, as you said, since 1980s, you are
yes,
victimized.
victimized. So, but I don't know for unknown reasons. Though I sent a message that why I'm requesting to add me as a representative for Ahmadiyya community too, but we didn't get any. response.
This is totally discriminatory behavior from their part because you are the real victims. You should have been invited. You should have been met, Mr. Volker Turk, and you should have been allowed to represent your case before them, isn't it?
But somehow we are not invited to attend the program. Yeah. Even in the morning, I called the UN office here. That what about you didn't inform us? Then I was told that your name is not there. So
That's really sad. What was the impact? Did you see the report, first of all?
yes, I have seen report. Report they more or less covered what happened.
What about the recommendations made in the report? Do you think they justify your demand?
The recommendation is always good. Always talks good, recommendation is good, but implementation is something else.
Challenge.
Yeah.
So, what do you think are the main challenges of I mean establishing the human rights of Ahmadiyya community? What are the main challenges right now in Bangladesh?
In fact, you know that Bangladesh constitution, which still valid in our, I am saying that still valid. We don't know what is going to happen, but valid. This constitution has given us the right, not only Ahmadis, every citizen to practice, believe, practice to his religion or what, even a non-religious person also have the right. But we must say that this has to be upheld because all citizens should get the rights
Equal
to
treatment.
perform his belief. Sorry,
Yeah, I said all religious people, all the people should be
all the
allowed
people,
to receive equal treatment
right?
from
Equal
the state.
treatment that we hear from the administration also. But sometimes we didn't get the in real picture is not something different. But particularly say there is a threat in some there was some program of Ahmadiyya community in some places, but there are some opposition from the religious fanatics. So when our people goes to the police station or seek support from the law enforcing authorities, then they are told that you are a minority people. How can I go against
The
such a
majority
large
people.
group? So you are minority. So they try to oppress us always.
See,
That
I mean,
happens.
this should change.
But one thing I should say that when now since the army is now it has been deployed. So wherever we have complained, we got support from the army. I should say.
I mean, you know that this statement comes up like this, that army is performing better than the civil authorities.
In current scenario,
Yes,
reason
in
reason
current.
may be reason may be that they said that they are still not organized. As we might have listened that even army chief also said that the undermining the law enforcing authority will create more problem. They will not have the depth of strength, mental strength. They are losing the mental strength, so they should not be undermined. So that is one of the reason I think.
We have come to the very end. So I will ask you that what do you want to say to the international community, especially, UN, European Union, and similar organizations, that what they should do to ensure the constitutional rights and the fundamental rights to the Ahmadiyya community, people in Bangladesh?
Thank you. First of all, Ahmadi, we Bangladeshi Ahmadis or wherever we live, we want to solve the issue locally within our government. We don't want to go to the international community like we have seen in our country that whenever there is a crisis situation, our political parties goes to the foreigners, to this embassy, that embassy, and other place to seek support. As an Ahmadi, we don't want to do that. We believe that our administration should do this. They perform their duties. However, in some situations, we have seen that they come for the Western community. They come forward. We have as after the incident, the U.S. embassy was directly in connection with us. They were taking information from us, and they gave a good support. They came forward. We didn't go to them, but they came forward. Similarly, sometimes we have seen that European Union come forward. European Union also come forward. And I can remember one incident that in 2006, in 2005, as I have mentioned, there were a series of uh, agitation against the Ahmadis and attacks. So there was a threat that the fanatics are going to capture our mosque at Nakhalpara in Tezgah industrial area.
Right.
And suddenly we came to know that six members from European embassies, six ambassadors from European countries, they are coming to visit us. And they came us, they expressed their solidarity, and they also gave the statement expressing their concern and asked the government, the then government, to protect the properties and life of Ahmadis. This sort of things, and that was a very unique situation. That coming six European ambassador to some of the religious groups in support, in solidarity. So this is
Mhm.
something unique. So since Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama'at is a worldwide organization, we have our presence in more than 200 countries, 220 countries. We have our organizations, and
Mhm.
our community is quite strong in USA, in UK, in Canada, in Germany, and some other Western country also. So they have good connection with the international organizations. So sometimes they took the matter to them. So as a result, we get some support from the international community also. So I believe that our administration, our government, whoever in power, they should be able to protect their citizens. They should. We also don't want to look at the foreigners to come forward and rescue us.
Okay, nicely said. So, thank you, Tafsir Bhai, once again. And before leaving, I would like to summarize the discussions that we had. That first of all, that Ahmadiyya Jamaat is in Bangladesh. Almost 111 years. Ahmadiyya Jamaat is in Bangladesh, and they're practicing a peaceful religion over there. However, they are facing discrimination, they are facing violence, and hatred is inflicted upon them from time to time from online and offline versions of media. So we have to keep supporting them. We have to listen to their voice so that their voices are heard, so their rights are respected, and they can live peacefully in Bangladesh. So thank you, Tafsir Bhai, once again for coming to us and speaking clearly what you want and what is the situation in Bangladesh. Viewers, please tune in for the next week's episode as well and keep watching SADF podcast. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thanks to you also. Thank you very much.